expired last week. It's probably fine.
What is foreshadowing? It's basically a hint. The reader might pick up on it or they might not, but it hints at something that's going to happen later in your story, and it helps build tension as the reader's anticipation for this thing grows. It was also satisfying if the reader didn't pick up on the hint, because then the thing happens and they're like, I should have seen it coming. Whatever genre your story is, you should work in some foreshadowing because it helps build that suspense that keeps the readers turning the pages. There are tons of ways that you can work foreshadowing into your story, but for today, let's just focus on 3. Narrator's statement, dialogue, and figurative language. Narrator's statement is going to be pretty direct. The narrator tells the reader outright that something is going to happen later in the story, and finding out the what, the why, and or the how is going to drive the reader's curiosity. Frankie would come to regret taking the train that day. Dialogue is a little more indirect. If a character in the story says something that hints at a future event, they don't actually realize it unless they're a fortune teller or a prophet. So your reader may or may not pick up on it. Don't worry, Frankie, said Bill as the train lurched forward. As long as you get to the office before Janet, you'll destroy that letter and she'll never know. Figurative language includes symbolism, imagery, metaphors, and similes. And this is going to be the most subtle type of foreshadowing. Frankie gazed at a snail making its way across the train window, centimeter by painful centimeter. All 3 of those examples foreshadow that Frankie's train ain't getting her to work on time. But they do so in very different ways and with varying degrees of directness. Try this exercise. Imagine you're writing a story that ends with a character getting sick to her stomach. Now, write a line or 2 of foreshadowing that's a direct statement from the narrator, another line as dialogue from a character in the story, and a 3rd line that just uses figurative language. You wouldn't use all 3 of these in the same story, but by comparing them, you'll get a better idea for how to use foreshadowing in your story to its best effect. Oh, why didn't I see this coming? Next week's Fiction Fix-It is going to be all about... So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know as soon as that episode goes up. And don't forget to share your examples of foreshadowing from this exercise in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit that like button and maybe share this video with someone you know who could use a little bit of help with foreshadowing in their stories. I'll see you guys next week, and until then, keep writing.